Hey,
Hey, good morning to you,
good
Axo.
morning to you. How have you been?
Well, lots been going on, mate. Busy day yesterday, of course. Obviously, release day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, very busy.
lot to change and radio stuff and all of that. So yeah, it's a pretty busy day. But how's you, first of all?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Also, you know what? It's a royal occasion today because forget the coronation. I'm here for you. This is a good
Oh,
moment.
bless you.
It's been great. I've been doing the blogs, doing the reviews, and I've also been watching sort of your progression since the last time we spoke. And there's so much to talk about. Because I don't know if you remember, we spoke about your release on Butterfly.
Yeah.
Now, Butterfly, I think it was on the release date that we spoke for that. And you've gone on to do some major stuff for Butterfly also. You
Mm.
won the best pop song of 2022 with Indie Boulevard. Talk to us about that. Let's retrack to Butterfly. How has that experience
Yeah,
gone for you?
yeah, I mean, it was a strange start to the campaign because I think, yeah, we spoke pretty much around the release date, and I was in Spain at the time, wasn't I?
Yes, yeah,
Um, and the Queen passed the same week Butterfly was released. So
mm,
having an up-tempo disco track in the week the Queen passed,
yeah,
I think kind of it didn't kind of go as well as maybe as I thought it would.
right,
Um, so it was kind of more the song was kind of more of a slow burn, and then we
right,
got to Indie Boulevard had done an interview with me or a review of the track, a really positive one. And
mm,
then out of the blue, in December, they nominated me as one of the tracks of the year in the pop category. So I was like, wow.
yeah,
So it kind of gave it another lease of life. So many people voted for me in that category as well. I was really shocked. I think it was about 350 votes, which
right,
was like, I don't even know. Apart from you, I only know two people. So it was like, wow, you're so surprised. And also it's
yeah,
kind of like, people from different countries, Australia, the Netherlands, so Spain, of course, so many people voting from those countries as well, which was so humbling.
mm,
Um, and as I say, yeah, the video and the track itself just had another burst of life, if you like. So
yeah,
the 2022 ended so great. It was amazing. Yeah. Let me
yeah.
show you, let me show you the award. Or the award's over there somewhere, but it's a nice little thing for the mantelpiece as well. So
Yes, yeah, no, I'd love to see that. No, congratulations again. I think we spoke last time about I'm not that spiritual, but I know butterflies have the representation of change and evolution. And I think for you at that point, we spoke last time about it being like a new lease of life essentially, because it was your song coming back, back after quite a while. And it's a stellar track. So I think you deserve all the
oh,
success that you've
thank
got.
you so much. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. When you said that in the interview, that was kind of a big light bulb moment for me because it did really feel like, I don't know about you, I know we both make music and you're kind of trying to find your lane, if you like,
mm,
with your music. And I think for the first time with Butterfly, I felt like this is the kind of music that I should be making.
yeah,
Um, and then obviously after that and the award and everything else, it was the nerves, if you like, of like, okay, so how do you follow up something that's so successful?
yeah,
Well, um, so I had to go through. The album was written, but you know, it took a lot of time to actually say, well, which one is the right song to follow it up with?
mm,
And I was quite nervous going into the studio to record 99% because of that.
right,
But after day one, it was like, yeah, this feels good. So
yeah.
it's
No, I'm glad.
and yeah, I'm really proud of it as well. Yes, I think it's a worthy follow up to Butterfly for sure.
Yeah, and I think you've achieved. I mean, I think I saw a post on one of your other singles, but it does as well, because I think it was around 15,000, 14,000 streams on
Mm.
that. So I think as much as this feels like the right song, well, the Butterfly felt like you found your pocket as a musician.
Yeah.
You've put some amazing music out there, and I think what it probably represents is your time, you know, like you've come into your time, and this is where things are kicking off for you. So I'm so happy.
Thank you, mate.
For yourself.
Yeah, no, it was a really great end to 2022, and this campaign has gone really well as well. You know, got the fans involved in terms of choosing the artwork for it and stuff like that, and really, I think everybody's kind of come on this journey with me to this release. So it's been really nice.
Yeah, and that was one of my other questions, and a bit of a statement. What I really like what you do compared to a lot of upcoming artists out there is like really getting your community involved in what you produce. So yeah, the artwork was one of them. Was that a kind of a conscious decision to go through it, or you just needed help? Like, I've got 3 covers and I need help.
It was a bit of both, really. You know, I thought one. And the thing about it is that, the engagement that you get and the conversations that you have with the people that support you off the back of that is, you know, is quite touching. And you know, sometimes I'm sure you feel the same. Sometimes you put music out there, you can't see what the reaction is, can you? You know what I mean? It's being streamed or whatever, it's being viewed, but the feedback thing is, you know, you get some, but perhaps not enough to kind of know where you're going with it. But to put the artwork questionnaire out there and talk to people about it definitely felt like, you know, we were all together in it, because it was actually the what the fans chose as my favourite as well. But I kind of wanted confirmation of that. So yeah, it's been a nice journey this time. You know, this past couple of months to the release has been really good.
For sure. And I think it's a good point. I think anyone watching back or anyone watching now at the moment, one comment and one piece of engagement can really change your perspective as a creator, as an artist. Because we're so self-critical about everything we put out. Just even, I really like what you've shared here, can completely change your mindset. I was doing like a review on a show that you may have seen on YouTube. And, you know, there was points where I was kind of like, oh, you know what, I've spent so much time doing this. I really don't think this is worth my time and effort and energy. And I received a WhatsApp message and I was like, I don't think they realized how much that changed my day completely. Not even day, but like my perspective of like, no, actually people are really responding to something I'm putting out there. So I think as unsigned musicians, particularly, the struggle is real. There's so much that we're putting into this.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I've had that, you know, we all get days where we're down and we're not sure where we're going. And then, you know, I've done it for other people as well. I saw an artist online that I could, you know, sometimes you see people evolve and get better and better and their confidence grows and grows. But perhaps they're not, you know, they can't see it themselves. And so sometimes I just drop people messages like that, and I think that's really helpful when, you know, I do that with you, don't I? You know, we've done it together, you know, like I saw your series and your stuff, and it was you know, it was a big thing for you, and I felt like you needed to know that you were on the right path and you were doing a great job, you know.
Yeah, and likewise, I think it's nice to see all the effort and energy you're putting into it. And it's solid material. It's not just as friends we're engaging. It's more like, actually, no, this is good stuff. And I need to say it's good stuff. So I do appreciate your engagement. And I also, I'm so happy with you and on your path at the moment. It's going to become a love bomb interview. It's like...
Well, I told you it's gonna culminate in that kind of Zane Lowe type interview for the album, for sure. But I'm looking forward to that.
I'm also looking forward to that. I'm also excited to see you in person, because I think it's I love creative people in general, but you have a great energy, so I'm excited.
I appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Let's talk 99% and 99%. What can you tell us about the track, what it means? Where did that come for you?
It came from looking back at a previous relationship from a while, quite a long while ago. You know, something reminds you, maybe it might have been a song that reminds you of something, a time, a person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was about a year ago I actually wrote it. And it was basically a relationship where we both knew it was the end of the relationship, but she could have said something at the time and I would have gone back to it, because it felt easier to do that than actually move on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think sometimes you know, like, you're very comfortable in a relationship situation and it feels so daunting to step out of that when you've been with somebody, and also you kind of morph into the same person a little bit, and you do what they do and they do what you do and all of that kind, and you've got a circle of friends maybe that you know you're involved with and whatever. And I remember, like, we had a conversation after we'd agreed to part, where if she'd have said just one thing, I would have gone back. And it was like, I'm kind of almost over you, but I'm not, you know? Right. And I think there's always a healing process, isn't there, when you're ending a relationship that is a difficult time, isn't it? So that kind of, it just came to me. Yeah, I'm all like 99% over you, but I'm not quite, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where it came from. Yeah. And then I kind of, when we got to the studio, I had this sort of like really good, you know, I felt like it was a really good idea of kind of top and tailing it with like a answer phone thing, where she's left me an answer phone message and I'm replying to it. Yeah. And at the end of it, actually, you know, because I've gone on for like 3 minutes, it's filled up the mailbox, you know. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was like, yeah, I can kind of imagine, you know, sometimes you imagine a song before you actually have completed it. Yeah. That's kind of where the whole, like, you know, it sort of snowballed, really.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great message. I'm just going to pick up on a comment that was in the chat from Sanila, who actually is a fantastic vocalist. And
is she really? Hi.
Incredible. Please connect. But she says that, and I think it's in reference to what we were talking about earlier, this conversation beautifully highlights the connection between intent and effect. People clearly connect to your music because it was created from a space of truth. Well done, both.
Oh, yes.
Which
Thank you so
is
much.
Great. Yeah, and I
amazing.
think, like you said, that this 99% and in all of your tracks, they come from a personal space, but they also come from quite a relatable space. I mean, no one is always feeling 100%. You know, you're always
absolutely,
where,
yeah.
You know, whether it's a relationship or your work or your family. So regardless, I think actually it's quite a relatable topic. So that's super nice, and thank you, Sanila, for engaging in it. You are quite amazing at also visuals, because I think as an artist you also understand that, you know, people listen with their eyes, and there's more to music than just how it sounds. Are we expecting a music video for this? Are we expecting more visuals for this?
Well, unfortunately not.
Okay.
Purely because, again, the struggle is real, and I'm sure some people watching, and you'll pick up on this. Mm-hmm. It was actually scheduled for next week, but the cost thing was just too big. Because I'm looking at, you know, like, you have to step back sometimes and look at a project as a whole.
Right.
And if you've seen my videos, they're not shot on iPhone, although you can do some great stuff with that now. There's a lot of thought goes into both the concept, but also the location. You know, we have two or three people behind the camera. There's a lot of stuff, and it costs money. So it was just, and also when we were talking through maybe the video concept for this song, it actually struck home that the next track would suit the video idea better. Right. So there's going to be a proper visual for the next song, which is hopefully around September time. So there is a lyric video out tonight at 9. but it's pretty basic. But
yeah,
I'd love to do a video with every track, and it was, it was kind of talked about with the team that I've got, all the way through. But unfortunately, we've had to go. Let's look at the big picture here. Let's do it for that track.
Yeah, no, I think it's something to look forward to. I think as a fan of your music, we do have Connor also, who's an incredible musician too. Just listen to the track there, George Michael Vibes, love it.
Oh, thank you. And I can see my friend Swift the Poet has just joined as well. Hi Swift, how you doing?
Yeah,
love your track, by the way.
That's amazing. So I mean, I understand. Again, I think what you did also was put some of your music on Bandcamp as well, so people can really go support. Obviously, I'm going to put all the links in the description.
Sure.
Talk to us about maybe how important it is for you as a creative to have those visuals to connect with your music.
Yeah, I think we're all looking for a way to kind of set ourselves apart from the amount of music that's out there, aren't we? And I think my feeling is, if you can create really professional, thought through visuals, then you've got maybe a better chance of standing out from the crowd. I'm proud of the music as well, but there's a lot of great music out there, isn't it? That's the fact. So tying the visuals in with the music, I think is, right from the word go, when I actually turned solo, which was in 2017, that was kind of like that's what I want to do. I want to create really good visuals to go with as many of the songs as I can. Yes. I've been lucky enough to, film in Spain and over here, and do some really, really cool stuff. So that's definitely going to continue. But unfortunately, down the line, we may do a video for this track, but at the moment it's slated for the next one. No,
I think that's totally understandable. And I always, like I say, I love your visuals because they're really well thought out. They're professionally done. And I think actually this goes as a compliment to you as an artist. I don't think you ever half-ass anything. It's never like, I'm just going to put it out there because I need to do this as a musician. I need to put out regular content. There's real thought that goes behind everything that you do.
Yeah, I'm sure you. I wanted to ask you this as well. Do you find? I mean, this is what I find. I know a lot of people that are doing what we do. Yeah. And what I get frustrated myself with, because I've done it for a long time, I think the biggest mistake that you can do is move on too quickly from what you're currently doing.
Yes.
Because you're excited, you want that kind of buzz of the release.
Yeah.
The release day, and then it's like, well, that's done, so I'm on to the next one.
Right.
I've seen a lot of artists discard music so quickly that they've put time, effort, money. You've got to get bang for your buck. That's what I feel.
I agree.
Which is why my releases are quite spread out. They're single after single, moving up into an album. But I try. I want to walk away from a song saying I tried everything to get to as many people as possible with this track. I'm happy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I've done. I kind of, obviously I've come into music quite late in my life and in my career. So I think there was a lot of lessons learned as I've gone on. But it is that thing of, because there's a lot of content out there and there's a lot of like, conversations around what you should do, what you shouldn't do. My intention was kind of like, I've put music out. I need to make, as an artist, I need to keep putting stuff out before people kind of get bored of you. In hindsight, there was a lot of like, I'm very proud of what I've released, and I wish I had stayed in the moment of, okay, my debut single, I don't need to rush to the next one. I need to actually, there's a good message behind it, that it means a lot to me. And there was a couple of like, Changes is one of my tracks that actually had a lot of good reception from it. Really personal messages had come through with how they've connected to the meaning behind the song.
Sure.
And I wish I had, rather than thinking, oh, I need to kind of move on to the next one, that I kind of really stayed in that moment, stayed connected to the song, because it does mean a lot to me. But I think I had two hats on, right? And that's what's difficult.
Yes.
Again, we wear so many hats as an artist that we forget what the core of it is. It should be about the music. It should be about you. Swift the poet, your friend, has said quality over quantity.
Certainly, yeah.
I think,
and he's also mentioned Elliot Richardson, who's been I've been with Elliot for 11 years. When I was in a band, I met Elliot when I was in a band before going solo.
Right.
And our relationship is like key to the reason why I'm still doing it. And we push each other in terms of like trying to better the last track every time. And he's such a talented guy. I mean, he makes me look great. Do you know what I mean? Which you know, sometimes maybe I'm not, but
no.
You know what I mean. So he's such an important part of what I do.
Yeah.
So big shout out to him as well. But yeah, going back to what you were saying as well. The other thing I think as well is, if we ask a lot of the fans as well when we're releasing stuff. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you join me on this? Do you know what I mean? And if you're constantly putting music out every few weeks, people are going, oh, what again? You know what I mean? And I think you've got to kind of make sure that there's a balance between asking the people that follow you, you know, don't get overkill. Sometimes because, like, you know, there's lots of things that you want. You know, you want eyes on this IG live. You want eyes on your lyric video tonight. You want eyes on that review that had just come out or whatever. And it's a lot to ask of people all at once, you know. And I think you have to be careful with that.
Yeah, I think that's a really fair point. And I think even just on a personal level, you kind of mentioned Elliot Richardson. You've worked with him before, and he does amazing work with you. Part of the artist journey is really finding your tribe, as well as the community you're building, but the tribe that are behind things too. Yeah. And that takes a long time. People who get the sound, people who connect with you, you know, on a personal level. I think recently I've done quite a few live performances, and I've got like an amazing pianist that I work with now all the time, because she just gets it. She just she understands me. She has her own flair. You know, no one's kind of stepping on anyone's toes in that sense. So I think it's a trial and error, right? You have to work with different producers to realize, actually, this is the guy or girl that really knows my stuff, you know, and really champions you. And I think that's why a lot of the time artists are like, okay, let me just put stuff out because I need to work on something new, because I need to find someone different, because this hasn't worked out. So it's a lot. And that's why I always encourage people to go and reach out to the artists that they support. Like, if you're watching this, go check out Alan's music, because it's good, and there's a lot of effort that's gone into it. So go and stream it, go support it, share it on a story, and then you wouldn't have to ask. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is. Yeah, and picking up on your point as well. I mean, on the previous album, Healed, I worked with 3 different producers and writers, and that was a great experience. But I keep coming back to Elliot, because, you know, like you said, he gets me. You know what I mean? There's almost like a lot of what we do is almost unspoken, right? And I think that kind of rapport is very hard to find. And, you know, like, I enjoyed the experience of working with different writers, and I will do that again for this album. But 99% of it's going to be Elliot, that's for sure. So you know, I think you have to do that to kind of like come back home almost. Yeah. You know, like you know, it's almost like you'll probably work with another pianist and go, that was great, but actually I want to go back because that feels the most comfortable, the most me. You know. So yeah, I think it's really important to, like you say, to have your tribe. You know, like people, the right people to take you photography, the right, you know, like all that different stuff is is really essential. You need people at the top of their game as well, if you're going to again stand out from the crowd.
Yeah. Sinile again says, Alan says something thoughtful that don't overwhelm others with your music, and I agree. But we have to keep making music, so don't offer a glass of water and make people thirsty.
That's a good analogy.
That's a great.
I feel thirsty now when she said that. Yeah.
I think it's a really
good point. I think it's just balance, isn't it? It's just about balance. It's about planning your releases and getting your bang for your buck, but at the same time keeping your audience interested but not overwhelmed, as has been said there. I think sometimes because there is a lot of content out there as well, isn't there? So I think
sorry, I was just going to say, I think also just as a creative, you need to take time, and we don't think in a lot of artists don't think in a selfish way, because they're like, I want to build a community and I need to put people who are supporting me at the focus of what I do. But sometimes you do need to take a bit of a back seat and say, actually, am I happy with this? And is this something I want to do? Not, I have to do this because I want to keep people engaged, or I want to have something coming out on a regular basis. Should be like, am I comfortable with this? I'm not. Let me spend a year on this. It shouldn't matter,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think it's all about balance and finding what's comfortable for you. I mean, some people do work. Some people, it works for some people to constantly release music, and that's great for them, but for me it never has. And and also you're trying to hit some really high bar, the bar's pretty high, so you've got to be really selective of what you actually go in the studio to record. Sometimes you go in there and it doesn't quite work or whatever, and that's time and money spent and whatever. So it's for me it has to be really planned.
Yes, for sure.
Because I don't know about you, but I mean, I've at least once a week I'm writing a song or whatever, but not every one of those can get to the point 99% is at. That there's some where you're going to have to go, yeah, it's okay, but let's wait for the next one to come. Yeah.
I'm a scrapbooker, so I do a lot of like. If you see my scrapbooks, they make no sense. They make no sense at all. But it's
only makes sense to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a place for me just to put ideas. So I'll put like, this is really strange, but if I like a color that I've seen, or I like a poster I've seen, I'll put it down, because I think it just inspires me when I need the inspiration. So I think that's the thing. If you keep your mind engaged with like writing the music often, it doesn't mean that needs to be a release that you put out, but it's kind of working your brain. We're athletes in a different sense, It's like the vocals need to be used often, otherwise you're going to lose that skill. So it's a lot of effort and energy as an artist, but you've been releasing some great quality music, and I think again, credit to you as an artist. Like when you see your profile, there's a lot. You keep busy, which I have to say, you keep very, very busy, but you do give the attention to your releases that you should be giving as a unsigned artist. What's next for 99%? Do you have anything in store for us? Any live performances that you've got planned?
At the moment, it's just purely. We're doing the rounds with. There's some more reviews coming out today.
Radio.
Some more. Some more radio stuff next week. So it's really about that. It's just keep spreading the word.
Yes.
And live performances. No. Again, I think we had a conversation about this off air.
Yeah.
It's another element of music that for me I love to do, but it's an expensive part of what we need to do as artists. And I'm more comfortable at the moment just recording and releasing stuff. I'd love to get out there again, and I think we talked about where you find musicians, and I've just moved to a new town in Eastbourne, so it's about connecting with people here, and
Yes.
Again, it's like, you talk to people and those suddenly that relationship builds and turns into something. I had that, a few years ago. I did have a 4 or 5 piece band that supported me, but they move on to other projects and you move on, and obviously I went to Spain and stuff like that. So I'm still trying to find that. I'm still trying to find that right balance between that. I think what I'll do is probably continue releasing singles, and once the album's done, is then maybe take a year away from recording and then focus on live. I think that's probably where I'll go with it.
Yeah, I only ask because I think you're an incredible live performer too. I think it's nice to hear your voice. You've shared a few clips really of some of the past performances, and you're great at what you do on stage. So hopefully that should happen soon. What can you? I don't want to dive too much into the album because obviously that's in the works. But what can you tell us about it? Does it include like a story? Is there a concept for your album at the moment?
It's going to be probably 9 or 10 tracks. I can tell you that. They're all, as I say, they're all already written. It's definitely the most up-tempo, soul, funk-driven vibe. Although there are 2 ballads on there as well. So I can tell you that. And basically, I think like if you were looking at it as a piece of vinyl, it's going to have 3 or 4 up-tempo ones, ballad, 3 or 4 up-tempo ones, and finish on a ballad.
Amazing.
So that's kind of where we're at. I'm so excited. I mean, then the next track, as I say, we've already talked about the video, and I'm so excited about getting in there and getting that recorded. We start on that next month. So
amazing.
We'll just keep doing that. And
there's no rest for you.
No, I've got plans for right into next year, to be fair, but it's just about executing it, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely smashing it at the moment, genuinely. Alan, congrats on your release of 99%. Do you want to give any sort of shout outs to anybody who's worked with you on the track, or perhaps on some upcoming projects from the album?
Yeah, I mean, going back to Elliot. Elliot's been amazing, and such a great friend, as well as he's such a safe space to go and talk to him about anything. And obviously, like you said before, like I wear my heart on the sleeve, and we talk about some really sort of personal stuff through the music. And he shares a lot of stuff with me as well, so that's a really special thing. So definitely big shout out to him, and to the people that have stuck by me and stuck with me through the music. And there's some people, Ronald Van Veen and Dylan Smith and Sylvia T, and there's a lot of fantastic people that year after year keep on. Pippa Fuller's another one. There's some amazing fans out there that really get behind everything I do. So that's probably the big shout out I want to give.
Well, you're absolutely killing it. Thank you everyone for tuning in also. Antonella left
thank you very much.
Last comment. Love this conversation duet. Axo, you know how to make your guests shine, and Alan was equally gracious to include others under the spotlight. Thank you. You're very kind.
Axo, you're great at your job. Keep doing it, and I'm really proud of you as well. You've done some great things since we spoke last. It's been great to watch you grow, and you've done festivals, you've done the BBC Three thing. Some really, really cool stuff. So congrats to you.
I appreciate you and your support, and generally you're a very, very supportive, kind friend. So I'm excited to meet you in person at some point, and
we will do that. That's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, for you and your releases. Yes, it will definitely happen. We'll see you soon. But congratulations again, Alan. And if anyone's watching, if you are on this live, you can actually click the top and follow Alan to find out more. But if you are watching this back on YouTube, all the links are in the description.
Thank you.
Alan, thank you for joining me this Saturday morning. Hopefully everyone's watching this, not the coronation.
Yeah, definitely. All right, great. Thanks, Axo. Appreciate it. Love you, man.